Always wanted to know how to make a winning cup of coffee? Well, the Roastmaster Generals have you covered. Although most people don't really think about it, there's tons of chemical engineering involved in the process of making coffee, from start to finish. In this video, my team will explain how we made our winning cup of coffee in a blind taste coffee competition. You can't make coffee without coffee beans, so at first we got green coffee beans, taking 120 grams of Sumatra beans and 120 grams of Guatemalan beans, totaling in 240 grams overall. Both beans were roasted using the fresh roast, although the Sumatra was roasted at a medium temperature with the max fan speed for 9 minutes, whereas the Guatemalan was roasted at a high temperature with the max fan speed for 3.4 minutes. After the beans cooled down, we take them out of the roaster. This resulted in the Sumatra being 99 grams and the Guatemalan being 109.2 grams, resulting in a total of 208.2 grams, which means that 31.8 grams were lost, but not really, due to chaff and volatile gases. In order to make the proper amount of coffee for this competition, we separated 50 grams of Sumatra and 30 grams of Guatemalan beans for the brew, which means that 49 grams of Sumatra and 79.2 grams of Guatemalan beans went to storage. Onto the brewing phase, the Sumatra, which is 50 grams, and the Guatemalan beans, which are 30 grams, are put together, so then they can all be grinded within one session of a grind. In order for our brew to actually be a brew, we get 1,200 grams of sink water and heat it up to 95 degrees Celsius. As the water's brewing, we pour 20 grams of the grind into 4 separate clever drippers. Once the water reaches 95 degrees Celsius, 300 grams of hot water are poured into the 4 separate drippers, and then each dripper is timed for 5 minutes before it's extracted. When all 4 brews were finished from the 4 clever drippers, 291.4 grams were found to be lost from our final brew due to evaporation and spent moist grounds. From this process, 988.6 grams of brewed coffee is made, which means you can pour yourself a nice cup of joe. Although this information was already stated before, this is a helpful diagram to pause on in order to get the roast and brew information needed in order to replicate it. This diagram shows the energy usages applied during this whole entire process. The main logic we followed to attempt to minimize our energy use was using the clever dripper as our brewing method, since it doesn't use any energy. We went after the best tasting cup of coffee more so than trying to minimize the energy used. This explains why we had the best blind taste score. In regards to our competition brew, our TDS was 1.27% and our PE was 15.6%. Our TDS was right in the ideal range of the 1.2 to 1.4% range, so we were happy with that. However, our PE was a little bit low, falling short of the ideal range of the 18% to 22% range. Here's our sensory evaluation overview. Take a pause if you'd like to look at the numbers. They range from 1 to 10, although the balance ranges from -10 to +5. Our final score was 24.5. Overall, we are happy with how our coffee came out. Having the highest score for the blind taste test, like our coffee, was pretty sweet. To make our coffee better, we need to increase the PE slightly. This can be done by increasing the extraction time, stirring, or using hotter water. Stirring or an increased extraction time would be the best methods since they do not use any additional energy. With all this information, now you know how to make an amazing cup of coffee. Thanks for watching!